The amazement in the eyes of an infant as it sees its own moving feet by chance. Quite heartwarming to watch. Pablo Neruda's poem To the Food from Its Child begins with this heartwarming imagery. The Chilean national poet Pablo Neruda, through his poem To the Food from Its Child, brings to us the development of a food from its infant stage to childhood stage to adulthood and beyond, and he correlates it to the evolution of a human life from infancy to childhood to adulthood and beyond. The poem begins with a beautiful idea of this infant child still unaware of what a food is. For the child, it is like a plaything. For a child, it is sweet and pleasant and colorful like an apple, or it is free and beautiful like a flying butterfly. The child isn't aware that the food has a function to perform. The child isn't aware that the food is a part of its own body. But in time, the bits of glass, the stones, the ladders, and the rough path on human earth teaches the child that it is not as per its imagination or expectation. There is a clash between the imagination of food to be an apple or a butterfly to the reality that it is different. Here, the child's food is defeated. It is punished and it is succumbed to live inside a prison, which is the shoe. The shoe is introduced into the life of a child as it starts the walk of life in the form of protection. In turn, a restriction, the boundary and the limitations set by the family and society to an individual in his or her walk of life. Inside the shoe, in the limitations, we experience the world like a blind man experiences the world. Now, the next stanza, Pablo Neruda juxtaposes totally unrelated surreal images, dreamlike images to bring out the transformation of a child's food to an adult food, thus the transformation of a child to adulthood. The tiny nails, which are transparent like quartz of an infant, transforms into hard nails which are opaque like horns. The transparency in a child is no more the same. It is much opaque as you grow an adult. The tiny petaled, tender, innocent life of a child is compared to the tiny petaled, tender, bunched together toes of a child, which grows out of trim, which grows unpleasant like a worm and eyeless reptiles as we grow older. The experiences are much unpleasant as we grow into an adult. The experiences are at times hard and deadly like faint volcanoes. And this thickening of the skin of the food is basically the thickening of life, the hardening, the coercioning of life of an individual, which is very, very difficult for us to accept. But we still walk without rest. He walks, she walks. The walk of a farmer in the field is different from the walk of a miner in the mine. The walk of a merchant in the market is different from the walk of a priest in the ministry. Sometimes we walk to our past, sometimes we walk to our future. Sometimes our walk is inward, a spiritual journey, but still, without giving time to rest, without giving time to sleep, we walk until the whole body decides to stop with death. Once the body decides to stop, this blind thing inside the shoe is descended underground, is buried underground, still unaware whether we are continuing the walk. After death, is there a possibility that we continue the same walk, or is there a possibility to get back to that expectation we had as a child, to be pleasant, sweet, beautiful, free, like a butterfly or an apple? What next? Quite unaware. Pablo Neruda, yes, sir. You have given us the total idea of triviality of human life through this beautiful poem to the food from its child. We are just humans.